Well, good morning, Southlands. My name's Ryan, and I'm one of the pastors at Southlands Brea. And your psalm for crisis this morning is Psalm 30. Psalm 30 is a psalm where David is thanking God for the good things that he's done in his life. And the whole psalm is worthy of reflection, but we're just going to go through verses 1 through 5 together, and we'll read those now and then go back to look at each verse in turn. I will exalt you, Lord, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. Lord my God, I called to you for help, and you healed me. You, Lord, brought me up from the realm of death. You spared me from going down to the pit. Sing the praises of the Lord, you his faithful people. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. David starts off Psalm 30 by saying, I will exalt you, Lord. David is thinking about what God has done, his own goodness in his life, and he's declaring that he will lift up the name of the Lord. And he tells us exactly what he has in mind when he worships throughout this psalm. He says, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. Firstly, David was in this pit. He was in this deep place where there seemed to be no solutions. The picture here is like Joseph in the Old Testament, trapped in a well with no way out, with no one to call on to help him. But not only that, but because he was delivered, his enemies didn't have the satisfaction of seeing him failing. And in verses 2 and 3, David tells us exactly what that pit was for him, and it was physical sickness. Lord my God, I called to you for help, and you healed me. But not just any type of sickness. It seems like David was on his deathbed. You, Lord, brought me up from the realm of death. You spared me from going down into the pit. And it's almost like David has experienced God's goodness in a way that his personal worship isn't enough to thank him, because he now turns to call the whole assembly to worship God. And he focuses not only on God's individual work of physical healing in his life, but the character of God that he knows so well. Sing the praises of the Lord, you his faithful people. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. You know, David took the time in Psalm 30 to thank and worship God for not only the individual goodness that he had received, but also the character of God. And this morning, I want to give you an opportunity to pause and just begin to comb through God's goodness in your life and thank him. A question you can ask to do this is, what has God blessed you with you have yet to thank him for? You know, in the New Testament, Jesus tells the story of these 10 lepers who receive healing, and only one of them returns to thank him. You know, that story is a warning for us to not be the 9, to show us that the temptation is to be the 9 who don't thank God for his goodness, but for us to be the ones who return and thank him. And you can do that in big ways or small ways. I think even of this week, for example, for me, I ordered a gift for my daughter, and the tracking information said that it wouldn't be here by Easter, and my wife and I were disappointed. But we get this notification on Saturday that our package was delivered out of nowhere. And I realized in preparing for this devotion that I had yet to thank God for helping that package arrive, and it gave my daughter so much joy. And so for you, what is it this morning? What goodness do you need to thank God for? Take a moment today and pause and catalog back through what's been happening in your life and thank God for the good things that he is doing.